So the learning objective for this video is to measure the distance and displacement of objects in motion. And to do this, we're going to do a little experiment, and we're going to be the object in motion, and we're going to measure our distance and displacement as a function of time. Now, before we actually get stuck into that experiment, we need to create a little table of results here. So to do that, we're going to make a couple of them, and we're going to do that in Microsoft Excel. So just open up that program and follow the next instructions. Okay, now that we've got our Excel program open, what we're going to do is jump into a cell up in the top corner here. Let's just start with B3. I never start in A1. B3. So, first column heading will be marker. Next one will be lap time in seconds. Not lap rhyme. Lap time. Then time in seconds will then be distance in meters, then displacement in meters. Okay, our first marker will be the start finish marker. Then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 markers. We're going to return journey this, so it's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. Start finish. Okay, they're all going to be starting at the start finish marker. The start finish marker will be 0 time, 0 time. It will be 0 distance, 0 displacement. Okay, so that's going to be our table. What we're going to do now is just select that entire table and give it borders all around so it looks quite clear. I'm still not happy with that, so I'm going to go to View and click on the grid lines. And now I've got a nice clean page with a table on it. Also, because I'm a bit OCD about this stuff, I'm just going to center those headings. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is select that whole table. No, I'm not. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in a little formula here. So what we're going to be doing is recording lap times, and lap times record how long is between each interval. What we want is the cumulative times. So we're going to make a little, we're going to put our little cursor and select the cell. In this case it's D5, so it's the time for the first marker. Up in this little function bar, I'm going to type equals the previous time, so I'm clicking D4, and then I'm going to type plus the lap time. Now I'm going to go to where that cell is, D5, and it has that little function in there. If I click on this little green square, I can drag that all the way down, and that function is now going to copy down, but for the next cell down. So for instance, if I click on this one down, it says D5 plus C6, D6 plus C7, and so forth. So I've got that little formula pasted in there. Now I'm going to select the entire table, because we're going to do this 3 times. So I'm going to copy paste 3 of them down there. And now these tables are going to be ready for us to fill in while we do our little practical. Okay, so gents, what we've got to do is firstly find 6 random objects around the house. You can see I've laid mine out here down my corridor. You want to place them out 1 meter apart. If you've got a tape measure, that'd be the easiest way to do it. If you don't have one, or you can't find it, like I often can't, I've got a little trick to quickly fix that. So what we all should have is a tie. You get your school tie. I've got my Joey's tie. That's the best I can do. Get an A4 bit of paper. Just measure out the length of 3.5, just roughly. It doesn't have to be that accurate. About there. Just tie a little knot in it. And you'll see that's probably going to be roughly about 1 meter. Not too bad. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to pull out your phone, and you want to be pulling up the clock app, and in here you'll find the stopwatch function, and it has the start, stop as normal, but it's also got this lap feature, which is what we're going to be using. So what I want you to do is start at your first marker, and you're going to press the start button and walk slowly. As you walk past each marker, press the lap button. When you get to the end, you're going to turn around, still hitting lap, 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 and stop. So now on my screen, I've got a whole bunch of lap times, and we're going to be putting those into our table of results, starting with the first marker as our first lap point, putting those all down there. Once that's done, you're going to repeat this 2 more times, but you're going to walk differently. So for the second one, I'll get you just to walk backwards, nice and slowly, still lapping at every marker point you get to. Remembering that last point is also a marker. On the third one, what I want you to do is a heel toe. Now you might need to practice this one a couple of times because I had a bit of trouble doing this. It's nice and easy just to walk heel and toe. That's not the hard part. The hard part is when you need to be watching the marker and hitting the lap button at the same time. I actually fell over a couple of times in my corridor, so you really do need to practice that one. But after you do it a couple of times, you get the hang of it. Just making sure you hit lap after each marker, including the one at the end and down the bottom. Once you've done that, put all your results into all your tables. Now the final thing that we want to do before we finish with our apparatus is just take a quick little shot with it, and we're going to use this little selfie image right at the end there for our finished product. Okay, now once that you've finished that practical and you have put in all your lap times, it should look something like this, where you've filled up all your lap times, and if you've done your formulas correctly, all those accumulated times should be down there now. So I've just put them in my order of that I did them as walking backwards and heel to toe. Now make sure you save this, because in our next learning activity we're going to be using this data to make some graphs.